All right, so now we're ready to look at part B. Part B gave us an interval from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. There is a point, so I know that means there's only one point if I pay close attention to the vocabulary here, on the curve, which the line tangent to the curve has a slope of 1. Find the coordinates of the point P. So I'm going to start here where it told me the slope was 1 because I know I have this equation for the derivative that will determine slope. So I'm going to start there to decide what the x and y values need to be at that point. So dy dx, which is now 1, is 2 over 2 minus sine of y. So now we're going to solve this equation for y. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 minus sine y. Oops. And here if I want to get y by itself, right, that's the variable that I'm solving for. It's inside the trigonometric function, so I'm going to get the trig function by itself here, subtract 2 from both sides. Negative sine of y is equal to 0. I could divide both sides by negative 1, so sine of y is equal to 0. So I'm going to think about this interval. Negative pi over 2 would be down here at 3 pi over 2. So in this interval from pi over 2 to negative pi over 2 on the unit circle, I'm thinking about when would sine be equal to 0. Now here sine is 1 because it's the y value, right? So here we've got 0, 1, where cosine is x and sine is y. We've got this point here that we have memorized, 1, 0, and this point down here at 0, negative 1. So on that interval, when is the sine value equal to 0? Well, right here. And this radian value is 0 or 2 pi. So we're just going to stick with 0. So that happens. Inverse sine of 0 is equal to y. So y is equal to 0. Now, a lot of you stopped there, and I couldn't give you full credit because that's not a point. That's just the y value. A point needs to be x, y, right? They're saying to find the coordinates of the x, y point. So now we still have more work to do. We have to take this y value and plug it back in here to the original equation they gave us. So that's the last step I need to work on. So I'm going to rewrite the problem here. All right, so 2 times x minus 0 equals 3 plus the cosine of 0. Lucky me, I have my unit circle drawn right here so that I know the cosine of 0 is equal to 1. All right. Here I can distribute, but 2 times 0 is just 0, so this is 3 plus 1. 2x equals 4. Divide both sides by 2. X is equal to 2, so now I have the point. At 2, 0 is where the slope of the curve is equal to 1. Now, you guys would have access to something like Desmos too on Tuesday, so if you feel like you're ahead of the game on time, you could even check that out, plug this equation into Desmos, analyze what you see on the graph at 2, 0, and see if you agree that the slope is equal to 1. So find ways to check your work as well. So that's part B.